was
that one first?
the computer was first, yeah.
I mean...
I feel bad about that now. I can't do anything about it now. Right, okay, I'm going to go to the questions I've got for you.
So exciting.
Because I'm going to do the intro on my own because I feel like that'll be less awkward.
Okay.
So I'll do the whole like, welcome
On
my own.
Right.
Welcome to this podcast. It's called Mindfull. Oh yeah, this is the thing, I've got a pun with the name. So it's called Mindfull, but it's like your mind is full, but it's like mindfulness.
Full, it's mindfulness. Oh, I'm so here for
Yeah.
This is like
I haven't showed you the artwork either.
Oh my god, I'm so fucking excited.
I'll show you that after.
Am I allowed to swear?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna like censor it. I don't know if we're allowed to upload it with swear words, but I'm sure it's fine.
I swear when it's necessary.
I can bleep over them, but I always swear, so I don't.
So much fun.
I was actually about to say I don't give a fuck, and I stopped myself.
It'd just be like your voice though going beep.
This is Aimee. Beep 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 beep. She has Tourette's. No, okay, so
Doing well.
she's doing really well in life, and she just loves to swear about everything. I think it's good. It's visceral. You can just like get your emotions out in a swear word. I love it. Right, so I do have questions. I don't know how I'm gonna like. I don't want it to just be like me question, you answer. So we're just gonna like naturally go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start with the question,
Okay.
and it's gonna be regimented, but then we'll like chill. So the first question I have, and I'm gonna ask everyone this, is: do you describe yourself as having a mental illness?
Ooh.
And I want to like see what people say,
Okay, so...
because I'm interested in this with you.
Okay. Do I see myself in having a mental illness?
So would you describe yourself?
I would say no.
Okay.
I'd say that I'd say at the moment no. I'd say it comes and goes. I'd say there are definitely moments where I'm like, yeah, I'm a bit depressed.
Yeah.
Or my anxiety is through the roof. But I'd say that mental illness, well, for me anyway, is something it's not permanent. It comes and goes. It's very like up and down. At the moment, like I was saying to you, I feel very okay. And I feel like I've got a general, even though there's a lot of shit happening, there's a general like peace.
Yeah.
But I'd say a year ago, I 100% would have answered that question with yes.
Yeah. I've got so many, I can't even count.
I've got all of them.
Every single one you can imagine. I'm so unwell.
Illnesses. All of them with a hangover.
I would have been like, do you describe yourself as having mental illness? And you'd be like, which one? Like, where should we start?
But this is my point, is I think mental illness is, I think it's such a difficult question, because you can be mentally unwell. I think it's the same thing as like, would you say you're ill at the moment in terms of physically ill? Yeah. Like, got a bit of a cold, but
it's like, are you in recovery? Are you first like diagnosed with it? Like,
Exactly.
I think I want to ask people that because I want to see what their definition of it is, because mental illness and mental health are a really different thing, and I think people just put it all in one like definition. And I want to see if people then say, yeah, I think I have mental illness because I have anxiety, or I have depression, or there's this physical thing in my head that's wrong, or if they just go, no, I think it's just more I struggle with mental health issues. I want to see like how people define it.
I'd say mental illness, I'd say to me, a year ago, I definitely had depression.
Yeah.
Continuously for about 2 years. It finished last year, but definitely I would say I was mentally unwell with depression.
Yeah. With like an illness.
It was, I was not okay.
Yeah.
I would say now, I'd say that I probably have seasons where I struggle with mental health.
Yeah, okay.
And that's how I would
That's the
define
difference,
it. Yeah, I'd say that's the difference, I'd say. But then my whole thing is I'd say it's like, to me, mental illness is like something like cancer. It's intense and it doesn't go. It's very...
And it like attacks your body.
It fully takes over everything, and it takes a lot of time and effort to really concentrate on getting over it.
Yeah.
And then mental health for me is something, it's like a cold. And I think mental health is something everyone struggles with.
I like that. It's like a common cold, like an everyday thing, versus like an actual disease.
Yeah. Because I feel like mental health something that really winds me up is people look at, and I know for me it was what I struggled with for about 2 years, was, and it sounds so cliche, but being okay with not being okay. And I thought that depression was this really intense thing where you want to kill yourself.
Yeah.
That's what
it's either suicide or not at all.
Yeah, either you're suicidal or you're not.
Yeah.
That's not what it is. And
it's like 50 Shades of Depression. Like it literally, there's so many aspects and layers to it, and it's so different for each person.
Exactly.
Like it's crazy.
Like each person has a cold. One person might have really sore throat, and there's levels to it. And I think the issue with mental health is that people, they think you have to be on the verge of killing yourself
for it to be like serious.
For it to be serious, or for it to even be classed as, oh, she's got a mental illness, or she's
that's why it makes me so sad when celebrities come out and there's like, oh, there's a celebrity that no one knew had depression who killed themselves. And it's like, well, if you'd have taken notice, if you'd have listened to them and not just thought like, oh, it's only serious if they're about to kill themselves, then they would have probably sought help and they would have probably come to you before. But because people see it as such a polar, like, black and white thing, like you're either ill or you're not, you're either suicidal or you're fine, like then people just don't take it seriously, and then people are going to die, people are going to kill themselves. Like it's that simple.
It's that simple. And I think this is my thing with, you said black and white. My issue, and it's something I'm still to this day, I was a very black and white person. So I was either happy, really, really happy, or I was really depressed. And I'm not afraid to use that word anymore. That was a thing as well. I used to always be like...
You take the stigma away from it,
I was always
like that.
Oh my god, like, I don't want to say I'm depressed because then people are going to look at me and be like, oh, she's
That's
depressed.
the depressed girl,
Well, no, like...
That's depressed Aimee.
Amy's depressed.
Oh no, it's her again.
And that's not what it was. But I was that black and white. It was either I was really, really happy, or I wasn't getting out of bed and I wasn't doing anything. I actually just wasn't okay.
We used to always say that about my brother. My older brother, my mum used to say he's either orange or he's grey. And it's like, he has had depression in the past. It's not about his mental illness though. It's just his personality. Like, some people just are like that at times in their life. And like, if you've been like that, it doesn't necessarily mean it's like, I don't know, depression or anything. It is just like a personality sometimes.
But it's something that I had to work on because I realised for me, it was affecting my mental health. Having that big swing of, life is so amazing, oh my god, everything is perfect. And then
I hate myself, hate everything.
Myself was like, and it just swung up and down. And it was so detrimental to my health. Whereas now, it's like I said to you, even though there's shit going on, it's not affecting me because I've got a general feeling of peace and
inner calm.
And I will have a cry, like I had a cry yesterday. But that cry doesn't affect me for the rest of the week anymore.
The crying is so healthy.
Oh, Molly.
It really
crying.
It really is healthy. Like, I read this thing the other day, and I didn't realise this because I'm not a very sciencey person, and I don't remember the exact, like, ins and outs of the article, so bear with me because it's not very sciencey. But crying is literally just every intense emotion that you feel. Think of it as like 1 to 10 of every emotion, and when you get to 10 in any emotion, your tear ducts just naturally cry. Like, whether you're happy, whether you're sad, whether you're angry, because I always angry cry. Like, if I'm in an argument, I have like tears in my eyes and I'm like screaming, but I'm like but like, it literally is a science thing. Like, if your brain gets to the point of just like peak emotion, you just let out crying. Like, you can't help it. And I used to always be ashamed and be like, oh well, why am I crying if I'm happy? Why am I crying? Like, you know, you watch a film and you get like intense emotion and then you just cry. I used to always be like, why the fuck am I crying? This is pathetic. And then now I'm like, oh, that's why I was crying. Like, that makes sense. But it's so good for your brain.
It's so good for your
brain.
Like,
if you don't do it, they were saying in the article, if you don't do it, it basically clogs up in your brain, and if you don't let it out, it just like makes you feel like shit.
Well, this is literally me. So I've always been a very emotional person, and it's only this year that I've accepted that part of myself.
Oh, I love that.
And oh my god, I cry at everything. Like, so basically the other day, Luke, I was telling you about, he left the house, and I'd got a message from him, and he was just like, I love you, and I found myself like getting really overwhelmed, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Why am I? And the way I looked at it was, I was like, why am I sad because he loves me? Why am I crying?
It's the thing, we associate sadness with crying.
And then I was thinking about the whole week I'd had like I was saying to you, I'm surrounding myself at the moment with people who genuinely care about me. Makes me emotional talking about it now. When you've got people around you who you know actually love you,
and when you've had the past of knowing what that isn't, you then see it for what it really is, and you're like, oh my god,
this is what friendship
good.
Is. This is what a solid relationship is. And I got overwhelmed, and I started crying, and I rang my mum, and I was like, I don't know why I'm so sad that I'm happy. And she was like, what? And I was like,
That's not how it works, Amy.
I'm crying because I'm so happy.
Oh
And
my
she was like,
God.
that's happy tears.
That's pure happiness.
That's happy. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh shit, brilliant,
I was
okay.
like, why am I turning happiness into a sadness?
Yeah.
Because you associate crying
Yeah.
with being
And I used to be always annoyed with myself if I was ever happy crying, because I didn't know that happy crying was a thing. If I was crying but I knew I was happy, I'd be like, why am I letting the sadness ruin the happiness? But I'm like, I wasn't doing that. I was just feeling really happy.
Really?
Like, it's so crazy that we think that.
It is, but it's honestly my favourite thing to do now is to sit, like me and my mum will have sort of 3-4 hour long phone conversations, and I think that's the one thing that's come out of this in terms of my mental health and like that whole journey, especially last year, with being as depressed as I was my relationship with my mum now is so much stronger.
Yeah.
Because I just accepted. I sat down with her. I was at the end of my bed. I remember it so well. And she was like, "You're not okay."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Mum, I'm not okay."
Yeah.
And that was the start of it.
And it's so brave to admit that. Like, I think people really don't see how brave it is to actually, like, the first time that you go, "I'm not okay," and then you kind of almost feel happy after you say it, because you're like, "Oh my God, I'm not okay," and then you're like, "Oh my God, great, I'm not okay," and you're like, "Let's do this." But it feels so good to admit it yourself.
It does, because you spend, I think for me, I was so ashamed of not being okay.
Yeah.
And because I preached to everyone about positivity, self-love.
I love my life,
I
everything's
love my
great.
life. When the reality was, I hated everything. It didn't matter where I was, what I was doing.
Yeah.
I so hated myself. There was not a bit of me that I liked, that I couldn't.
Makes me so sad now that I know you. I'm just like, oh, I wish I could have met you in person and just like given you a massive hug and just
Do you
been
know
like,
what though? That sentence, massive hug. This is the other thing. I remember I said to my mum on that day, I had refused hugs and care for the whole time. And I think that depression, the cure for depression for me in that whole year, 2 years, was accepting help.
Yeah.
And asking for it as well, because I had
actively wanting it
and going, because I remember my mum being like, what do you want, Ames? What can I do to help you?
Yeah.
And I was like, I would like a hug.
Oh.
And my body language, I had my knees up to my chest, I had my, and
you've got like a massive stop sign on your forehead, but you're like, I want a hug.
Don't hug me.
But verbally you're like, I really fucking want a hug.
And it was basically me being like, I don't want to be vulnerable, I don't want you to see me being vulnerable.
Yeah. But I don't want to admit to feeling this vulnerable
I
this
don't want
week.
to admit to not feeling okay. I don't want you to see me being weak.
Yeah.
But actually vulnerability is not.
I think it takes so much bravery to be vulnerable.
It's so courageous. And it's something that I've fully embraced now, because I never would tell anyone I loved them. I'd never cry in front of people. I was so like sort of strict with myself. Closed off, and like all I wanted was a hug.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But that's such a simple thing to want, like such a simple human thing.
Babies, I think of it like we're all babies.
Yeah,
we
literally.
are all children, and all we need is food, like good snacks,
food, water, shelter,
and a hug.
And a fucking hug. And a fucking cry sometimes.
Yes.
That's so funny, I love that.
Babies have got it so on point. That's why like newborns don't have like mental health issues, because they know what they want and they
ask for it, yeah.
And that's what
we don't do that as adults. We don't, like, if we see, like, I don't know, if you were thirsty or if you were like in pain, you would like go get painkillers or go get water, like, you know that. But when you're depressed and when you have like mental health issues going on as an adult, you don't think about asking. You don't, or you do, but then you think, oh no, I'm not
going to ask.
I don't want to be the person that asks for that, you know.
And my thing would be, I'd expect people to know already.
Yeah.
So my thing was, why aren't they giving me a hug?
Yeah.
I'm clearly really upset.
They clearly don't know me or love me, because they don't know that I want a hug right now.
But it's like, I can't mind.
But there's so many like signals there being like, I want a hug, but I don't want a hug. So if you hug me, but you should know that I want a hug. And it's just like, people don't know that much about what's going on in your brain.
Exactly.
Like,
and I know fully for me, last year, I didn't even know what was going on in my brain.
Literally.
How could I assume?
How could someone else?
That someone else did.
Yeah.
And so I had to, and I've got good at, especially in my relationship now, asking.
Yeah.
You know, actually, can we talk about that? Can I have a hug? Can you love me?
Yeah.
Because I need to hear it.
Literally.
And being okay with actually asking for what you want.
Yeah, and not feeling like shame or guilt by asking. Because like I always used to be that person in school, like in class, if I was struggling with something, I would never put my hand up. I would never like say to the teacher, do you know what, I actually don't get this. Or like I would literally suffer in silence. I would sit at the back of the room, I would laugh and joke and be like, I'm fine, this is great, I understand everything. And then they would do the thing where they're like, okay, go in pairs and do the work. And I'd be like, fuck, okay, I don't understand what I'm doing. And I would always have a friend like have to tell me. And if I just put my hand up and been like, I don't understand, there's no shame or guilt in that. There's nothing wrong with being like, I don't understand something or I'm struggling. But I was always the one being like, oh, it's just awkward and I don't want to have to admit that I'm like weak, you know?
Fully. Well,
there's nothing weak in that. Like,
and also, like, what is weakness?
Yeah.
Like, that's a whole, like...
That's a whole other
that's
podcast.
A whole other podcast. But this, my point is, like, I mean, I think for me, that whole... When you were saying about being in school, that's where that really started for me, because I'm definitely dyslexic in terms of math.
Oh really? Oh my god, with math, fuck me, I'm so bad.
No, to the point where like if you ask me now like what's 7 of 9, I'd be like,
oh my god, you just said that, my brain literally just went,
I know. I'm not even gonna try it.
I'm not gonna, because I know I'll get it wrong and it'll be really embarrassing. We don't need to do that right now.
But
this is not a maths podcast, thank fuck for that.
Thank fuck.
Thank
but
Jesus.
that's how the issue started for me, was because I was taught in school that if you don't get it, I mean I was bullied in school, but if you don't understand it straight away, then it's not worth our time trying to fix it.
Yeah.
And so I just kept my mouth shut.
But that's such a weird way of running like your education system, because the reason we're going is to learn. And I remember like people in my class being so like clever and snooty and putting their hand up and knowing everything. And I remember feeling so ashamed. And there was no like wider reading we could have done for like fucking year 9 history. Like we weren't supposed to turn up with these like notes prepared in our head and be like, I already know like all about the Vietnam War. Like we weren't supposed to know. We were supposed to go to fucking learn.
Exactly.
But I was still like ashamed and be like, well, if they know, and it's the whole like comparing yourself to the people, which is ridiculous. But like I was always, if they know, why don't I know?
I know, yeah.
And if they're putting their hand up, they're doing it because they know the answer. And if I put my hand up, it's going to be I don't know the answer.
Exactly.
And then everyone's going to look at me, and everyone's going to think about it, and then the teacher's going to be like, Jesus, this girl doesn't know. And it's just this whole thing in your head. Yeah, and it means
then,
nothing.
Like, the world's going to end.
And then I'm going to die.
I'm gonna die.
And then I'm just gonna die. I'm just gonna explode one day. And like it's ridiculous because nobody was thinking that. It was fucking year 9 history. Like my teacher was lovely. All my classmates were lovely. No one was actually thinking like, God, this girl does not know anything. Yeah. They were just like, okay, she doesn't know this answer. Let's tell her the answer. She'll learn it. She won't have to ask again. Like that's literally all they were thinking. But I was being like, I don't want to ask. It's so awkward. It's pathetic, like, not pathetic, that's a mean way to say it, because if somebody's going through it, like, yeah.
But it is one of those things, I mean, I look back at me, 2 years ago, and I'm now like, God, Amy, silly bitch, just ask,
what
do you know what I mean, just ask
silly
for help.
Bitch. Yeah,
do you know what
literally.
I mean? I was so silent about it, and it was like, and my mum was a queen for those 2 years, because she drilled into me every single day, you need to sort this out.
Yeah.
She did not let it slide.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the time I was going, Mum, I'm fine. Can you just
because it's so annoying if you're going through it and everyone's like, are you okay? And you're just like, fucking
I'm
fine.
fine, I'm okay.
But then you like go to the bathroom and just like sob. And you're like, okay, I guess I'm not fine. But like, I'm not going to admit that.
Have you ever cried while brushing your teeth? That takes skill.
I have, and I remember the taste of it because it's like salt and mint. And it's like the weirdest combination.
Someone contacts Cadbury's because we've
It would be delicious.
Oh my God.
It kind of was horrible, but like I remember the taste and I'm just like, no, I kind of liked it. Like, yeah. It was a groovy taste.
Really like that was.
Please make us like a Tears toothpaste and just have like the catchphrase like it's groovy. Just you like holding the tube, like that would be fucking hilarious.
Literally, oh my God.
I would use that. I really would.
Oh dear. But no, I think fully.
Yeah.
My mum, and I think that's why I'm so grateful, because not everyone has that support system.
No.
And she carried me through that.
Yeah.
She was the one that drilled into me. You need to get help.
And it takes somebody else seeing it, because it's such an internal thing. And I remember kind of going through it, and it's such a personal thing. All of the thoughts, everything, it's very inside you. Like even if you're going through it and it manifests itself in a physical way, like you have like scars and things, it's still you. It's still your body and your skin, and it's so personal. And then when somebody else can see it, like even if it's not your mum or your close friend, even if it's like a teacher can be like, you're not well, that like it breaks your heart, but you're like, oh my God, that it means it's really bad.
And it's terrifying when someone else can see your pain.
It's embarrassing.
Oh my God. that was the thing, it's someone else seeing what you're not seeing. And
Yeah.
my mum saw me more than I saw me.
Yeah.
And
She saw like right through you.
Oh my god. And I remember there was a time where I was sat on the kitchen floor sobbing and going, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And she was like, look, in the most sweet way possible.
Have you fucking seen yourself, Aimee? Have you looked in the mirror?
Look at you, you're not okay.
Yeah.
And it was like, the way I coped with it was I got angry at her. Because I was so mad at, why are you saying...
Why would you tell me I'm not okay?
Why would you tell me I'm not okay? That's such a sort of a diss. Or
Yeah,
like,
don't fucking diss me, Mum.
Why don't diss me? Like,
who are you trying to diss, Mum?
Like, don't... And for me it was, you're picking on my insecurity.
Yeah, you're making it worse.
When actually the reality was
she was trying to make you better.
And do you know what she did? She fully...
Yeah.
I mean, you can only help someone if they want to be helped.
Yeah.
And I think she got me to get into counselling. That was like counselling is the best thing in the whole world.
It really is.
You don't need to be depressed to have counselling. Everyone needs counselling. I don't care if like everything is going right in your life. Everyone has something that they need to
Everyone
discuss.
has more issues than they want to admit they have.
Even if it's, today I stubbed my toe and it really upset me, go get counselling. And
Today, my favourite, I don't know, crisps were sold out.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Cause
Yeah.
I mean, counselling again has such a big thing around it. It's like this scary, like,
she's been to counselling. Yeah.
Yes. And it was fucking brilliant.
And it
I
changed
cried
me.
It changed me. I cried for an hour.
Yeah.
And now I know that all of my issues resulted back to my childhood, and I can.
And I can pinpoint the year it all started.
And now I can move past it.
Yeah.
And I think, and this is why I think counselling needs to start at like 6 or 7 years old, because for me, that's where the issues begun.
Even just as a child, finding somebody to talk to who was neutral in your life, who wasn't a parent or a friend or a family member, who you could just like talk through your emotions with, because obviously not every 7-year-old is going to have mental health issues, obviously, but not every adult is going to have mental health issues. But to be able to talk through your emotions in a safe environment and be able to unpick them and understand them is such a like basic human right, and it's not something that everyone has access to.
No.
And like counselling is such a privilege. Like it's such a privilege to be able to access it, and I think everyone like should be able to.
Everyone should be able to have it. And I think for me, if I at 7 years old had someone go, what's going on at home? What? And I could have gone, oh well, you know, Mum's going through a divorce and I feel like she doesn't love me. But actually the reality was she just doesn't have time to give me because she's got 5 other children.
She's got a lot going on.
I can't 5 other children.
Yeah.
However
You're
many
one of 5, aren't you? Yeah.
Yes, one of 5.
Yeah.
Well, one of 6, but we won't get into that.
Okay. Yeah,
But
that's fine.
one of 5. But it was, you know, she just doesn't have the resources to give me.
She's stretched thin.
If someone had told me that at 7 years old, Mum does love you, she's just a bit stretched, then I probably wouldn't have like gone through my whole.
You would have been like, okay, bye then. Yeah.
And that's what you do, to bring it into schools, and it needs to stop being so like such a scary topic.
So stigmatised,
It's counselling. It's not
like...
If
If you make it more of a natural thing, it will become much less. But because people, like, they put it on a pedestal and they think it's this thing that's just so out of touch with, like,
they
people.
think someone has to have died, or, you know...
Yeah, they think you should either have severe depression, PTSD, or, like, from a traumatic experience that you've had with, like, a family member, to be able to be, like, qualified to be able to have it.
Which is the only issue is, though, and I will say this, is... I know from experience, applying for counselling...
Oh my god, it's a ball ache.
They will only accept you. I mean, I was very lucky.
Yeah.
But they will only accept you if they think you're a risk to your own life.
Yeah.
And I think that's ridiculous, because it shouldn't get to that point.
Yeah, this is what I was saying earlier with the celebrity thing. You shouldn't get to the last point of someone's life or just after they've killed themselves. People go, oh, mental health matters. It's like, yeah, no shit, it matters. Like, there are so many more things that it makes me so angry. I could literally, this isn't even like, we literally have asked one question, but like, we've talked for like 20 minutes, because honestly, makes me so passionate and angry. But like, the systems, at least in the UK, are broken to shit. Like, they are absolutely ridiculous. Because I remember going through the process of getting counselling, and I would have been like 16, 17, and it took forever. And I remember being put on the waiting list, and I remember being given these like shitty leaflets, and they were like, just read these and, you know, really kind of make yourself feel better. And I was just like, it didn't at all. And like, I remember my older brother went through it I think it was last year, and he went to the GP and was just like, I asked, he wanted to go onto medication for his depression, and he pulled out and he was like, they gave me these leaflets, and I was like, that's the leaflets they gave me, and he was like, what the hell? Like, it's so bad. And I was on the waiting list for maybe a year or maybe longer, which is actually quite good in terms of like most people's experiences. But I only ended up having it for like 2 months, and it was really good. But like, it just took forever to actually start, and I was like, had to get to like my breaking point before they could actually talk to me. And I think I was so far gone with it that like, it did help, but I was already quite broken, and I think it took more than just a couple of months for CBT to probably like put me back together.
Well, fully, and I think the other issue as well is that, I mean, that's another podcast, but the NHS...
We've got like 4 podcasts now, like literally.
But the NHS is so overrun. I mean, my mum works at the NHS.
Yeah, same.
Everyone, and this is my other issue is, and I know for me when I was going through it, I wanted a quick fix.
Yeah.
I wanted someone to give me something and to make it all go away.
Yeah. An overnight tablet or...
Well, and this thing, people go to the GP and say, oh, my boyfriend's broken up with me, I'm really upset, can I have tablets for depression? Now, you probably are depressed because your boyfriend's broken up with you, because there are different levels of depression. Yeah. But why don't we give you counselling?
Yeah, why don't we let you work through that in a safe space?
Instead of going, here, take a beta blocker.
Yeah.
And send you on your merry way. Because the issue with beta blockers is, it numbs it, but then you come off it, the issue's still there, because you can't put a plaster over something like cancer and go, we're just going to ignore it and numb it while it grows and festers inside into something else and spreads everywhere.
I remember being given beta blockers and I was literally just like, I don't know, it made me so physically ill, like, because I did not have a heart problem. I have never, and will never, well, maybe not will never, but I have never had a heart problem. But they were just like, right, so you've got anxiety, here's this tablet called a beta blocker, and I was like, right, I remember that in science. It seems like it's related to me. And they're like, it'll just, slow your heart rate down. And I was like, that's fine, but the anxiety that I was talking to you about, could I maybe try and fix that? And I was on beta blockers for like, was it a year? I think a year in the end. And when I came off, I was so physically ill. Like, I threw up so much, TMI, but like, I threw up so much because my body was just adjusting to life without them. And I was like, why was I taking them for a year? They did nothing to my anxiety. They probably made me worse because I hated being on that. It made me feel sick. Like, it made me feel wrong. It's so stupid. We've literally ranted for like ages about loads. No, but like, honestly, I knew this was going to happen. Like, I knew we were going to be like, once we get into it, we were just going to scream at each other. In like a good way, not in like a, I fucking hate you, really. I think we've probably like answered a couple of these already, but I was going to ask you about, because we talked about this earlier, astrology and spirituality. And I wanted to ask you if you feel a connection between the 3 things of mental health, spirituality and astrology. I knew you were going to say yes. I knew you were going to say yes. But I want like more of a, in-depth conversation about it. Because I know we've talked a lot about this before, and I think people get really pissy about like, you believe in like astrology? Like, my brothers get really annoyed with me. They're like, you think it matters that you're a Pisces? And I was like, it fucking does matter I'm a Pisces. But like,
you Taurus.
Such a Leo. But like, it does matter in the sense that it gives you something to cling to and to believe, and I always get really annoyed when people tell me off for believing in it, because I'm like, I'm not a religious person personally, like I don't personally believe in God. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with believing in God, but I've always felt more of a connection to spirituality, and personally for me, like having that as a kind of outer connection in my brain helps with mental health, like having it to be able to believe in something and be able to have something to be like, this is making me feel better. Like, that does help, but people piss on it all the time. I know, your eyes are literally like, you're glowing. You're just like, yes,
my woman.
It's the astrology section.
No, fully, for me, I think, as well as counselling, the thing that really pulled me out so my mum, I am so blessed to have my mum as my mum.
Every time we talk about her, I want to meet her so badly.
I want everyone to meet my mum. Everyone deserves to meet my mum.
It would be a privilege.
I grew up in a household, so I'd say we were Christian for quite a long time. And then she kind of, she's a very spiritual, I mean, she is just like a goddess. But she sort of moved away from Christianity, and she fully let me explore anything and everything. And for me, the thing that stuck with me, and it's something that me and my mum both discuss a lot now, is, I was saying to you about how even though there's shit going on, I've got this like...
inner calm.
Inner calm, this inner peace. And for me, that is God.
Yeah.
So not a man in the sky, or but that feeling, that, and it's something I get when I meditate.
Yeah.
When I feel, it makes me emotional. When I feel aligned.
Yeah.
I do yoga and meditation every day without fail. It's become a ritual now. And when I get to that point, I feel it now. It's like, I can't explain it. Just everything feels aligned and peaceful.
I was about to say, I'm looking at your chest right now, like not in a like not in like a pervy way, but I'm imagining like a kind of glowing light. That's like how I'm seeing it when you're describing it. But I realised just staring at your tits was a weird way of like segueing into that. I'm just like, wow, yeah, I really see that. I really see the glow. It's just beautiful. They look amazing.
Thank you.
No, but I see that kind of like a warmth in you.
Yes,
Like
it's something to me, and I think whether it's something I mean, I'm wearing my rose quartz now,
yeah.
but for me, everything's energy, and what you give your energy to is what manifests. And I think getting in touch with that spirituality, getting in touch with myself and working on myself, I had to do some hard shit working on myself.
Yeah.
That takes a lot.
Yeah.
And recognising, I mean, Luke said to me the other day, he was like, you're so in touch with your emotions to a point where like
it's kind of scary.
He was like, you analyse yourself. Every interaction I have with someone, I think about like, okay, why did I react like that? What's going on with me?
Why did I think that? Why did I do that? Yeah.
If I've had a day at work and I've got pissed off at a customer, I will think, okay, what, they didn't do anything. What is it that's
what
going
could I
on?
do better? Yeah.
What is it that's going on with me that I need to work on? And
it's like introspection sort of like,
And I feel like spirituality for me, and I honestly, I mean, I think spirituality and astrology are two separate things for me.
Yeah.
I think that kind of feeling of inner peace, that like, I'm going to say inner God, that feeling of, I mean, I got it tattooed on me, radiate love.
Oh, that's so nice.
I know, isn't it cute?
It's gorgeous.
It's new. But that's the thing for me that I think is God, is just doing everything you do with the idea of, okay, but I'm doing it with love, and if it's not with love, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
And that gut feeling, like, you know, I said before this podcast, I've got a gut feeling about this. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
It's how I feel when I meditate. Like, it's like a...
But if you're so in touch with your emotions, I then like trust, like when you have a gut feeling, I'm like, I completely trust now, because you know your emotions, you know yourself so well, like you understand what's going on. I'm just like, okay.
This is why when I make friends with people now, I so know what feels wrong and what feels right.
Yeah, massively.
And it's why with astrology, and I mean, people shit on astrology, man.
They really do.
And I think
I do get why they shit on it, because it's not like physical, there's no like real proof. I understand that. But it's a belief system in a way. You have to hold yourself to believing it.
You do, and I think everyone has something that they cling to. And I think even if astrology is a pile of shit, which I don't think it is, if you are letting it affect you in a positive way, then crack on with it. And
if anything is making you feel better or allowing you to feel more positive, why should you let that down?
And if you're radiating that back out into the world,
then that can only be a good thing.
Exactly.
I always think that. I'm like, well, what do you have to gain from telling people not to do this if it's making people happy?
Exactly. And I mean, for me, like astrology, I'm a Leo.
I know you are. Literally every description of you online, every description of you in person is like, I'm such a Leo, I'm like 100% a Leo, and I always find it so funny because like you've never actually physically said it to me before, but I like know you're a Leo.
I like through and through. But, and I mean, quite terrifyingly so. I mean, me and Luke did I feel like I'm saying his name a lot.
It's cool. He's going to listen to it anyway, so he's fine. Hi, Luke.
We'll probably be broken up and he'll be like, down. But
we'll still give him his promo before that happens. Don't worry.
We were doing he did a political compass test and we did the personality test.
Oh, okay.
And I am ENFP, I think.
Are you? I'm ENFJ.
Yeah, you are, queen. And
I know. We're so close.
But I'm so extreme on that, so my percentages were like 90% emotional. Like, you know, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm so extreme. Intensity, and with the political one, I was higher than Gandhi on the... That's
my favourite sentence. I was higher than Gandhi.
I'm so left that I'm beyond Gandhi.
That's fucking hilarious.
And he was like, God, you're so... Well, it's like we were saying, the black and white thing.
Yeah.
I'm so
extreme
in my beliefs and my, whether it's a positive or negative, I don't know.
Well, I think, yeah.
But that's a very Leo quality.
It really is.
Everything's very passionate, and he's a Leo as well.
Is he?
Yeah, and I remember I said to him, I was like, the only reason you're my boyfriend is because I knew you were a Leo, and I was like, okay.
And you were like, I've got to get on this.
That's one of the reasons me and him connected.
Yeah.
Which I was like, when's your birthday? You kind of seem like a Leo. And he was like, oh, I am a Leo. And I was like, boom.
You were just like signing the marriage certificate, like, perfect, that'll do, lovely, thank you.
Our kids are going to be wonderful.
Because you're like intense Leo.
I know.
You're going to be like planning it so they're all born in like August.
I will not give birth to a Taurus.
Oh wow, that's intense.
Sorry.
No, I have some friends that Taurus.
I just think
that's intense. That's fine. Like you got to get on with what you feel.
Although this is the other thing I will say with astrology, I don't let it dictate my life. So
I think that's sensible.
If I'm friends with someone and they're like, oh, I'm a Taurus, I'm not going to be like, sorry.
They're perfect in every other way, but they're a fucking Taurus.
Do you know what I mean?
Can't do this, I'm afraid. Yeah, like obviously.
There's ways to go about it, and I only read my horoscope at the end of the day. I don't read it before.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because I feel like I'd rather...
Do you read it to be like, did that happen?
Did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and rather than going throughout the day, because some of them can be a little bit like, you know...
Some of them are so vague.
Yeah.
You might do something today, and I'm like...
You might die today. Well, I'm not about to go through the whole day going like, okay...
I think I might die, guys. Just to warn you.
So I do it at the end of the day, and I like retrospectively look at everything and go, oh, okay. And the funny thing is, because I said to Luke, I was like, I'm trying to get him onto the astrology bandwagon, and I was like, okay, for a month or for I can't remember how long we said. I was like, we'll do our horoscope at the end of the day, and every single one, Molly. Every single horoscope was so accurate.
So
and you have to pick a good, this is the other thing. Horoscopes, you got some shit, you got to...
Yeah, well there are ones people want to make money, obviously.
Yeah, you got to wade through the shit of it to find out the
But that's true of life, like, that's...
But I believe in the stars, I believe in, like, the moon having
I really want someone who's just walking right now and you're just like, I believe in the stars and the moon, and someone's like, shit, wrong room. I don't want to go in that room. Okay. I'm not, lady.
But I honestly I believe that the moon has energy. I think it's a connection with the earth. I fully think that, and the whole thing with global warming, I know it's a touchy subject, but I think we're so disconnected from the earth and the energy, and there is a lot of negativity at the moment. It sounds so fucking cliche, but everyone's on a wavelength at the moment of like Brexit and global warming, and we're so focused on the world is going to shit that actually what's happening is
it is going to shit.
And when I do my meditation, or I did a group meditation before, and everyone connected on to the feeling of love. That's what we were all connected on. And when I say that room was like heaven, it's only what I can imagine heaven would be like. We were all on such a just loving energy vibe that I thought, God, if everyone just did that. I know it sounds so 70s.
It really does, but I love it. Like, it's fine. I love it. My parents will be pissing themselves right now, like, if they because they honestly are such hippies. They're going to be listening to this being like, who is this girl? Like, yes, Molly surrounded herself with good people. Like,
and I believe in witches as well. I think we're all witches.
I remember one of the first books I got out last year from the library was a book on witches. And I remember taking it out, and the machine was broken, so I went to the woman and tried to take it out, and she literally just looked at me and was just like, this girl's a freak. Because I had like 2 books on witches and another book on like, I think it was on Spellbound or something something weird, and I literally was just like, I want to read it, so I took it, and the woman was literally looking at me like, what a fucking freak. But I went home and I was like, I've got a book on witches, and I read it in bed and I was like, woohoo! Like,
you know what, the other thing as well, I think it's really important, especially with astrology, with crystals, and it comes from such, and I mean, and this is where you've got to be, cultural appropriation comes to it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because sourcing crystals and sage when you're, getting rid of the negative energy and stuff, Urban Outfitters have picked up on that now, that it's become a trend. In the same way feminism became a trend.
Yeah.
And then
global warming and like climate change has become a trend as well, like buying reusable stuff and things like that.
Yeah.
Everything does become trending.
And you've got to make sure that you are rooting it, and you'll make sure you're, especially with sage, and that came from, like, if I'm right, correct me if I'm wrong, Native American Indians.
Yeah, I think it did,
a lot of that kind of, spirituality, being connected with the earth.
So much of the culture came from Native Americans.
I'm so interested in Native American Indians, and the drumming that they do, I can't remember what it's called, but
I know what you mean.
they are so connected to the other. We've got to make sure that we're not, buying into Urban Outfitters selling sage, that they are mass producing it and killing. Do you know what I mean? Like,
you've got to go into it with the right intentions.
Yes.
As long as you're aware of the culture and the history behind it, and you're aware of, I don't want to be taking this from anyone, I don't want to be taking it from the people who grew this. And like, it does annoy me because the people who grew it, the people who like started it, were not appreciated for it.
No,
they were told off for it. They were told they were crazy, and now it's become trendy and fashionable.
Yes.
I think as long as you're aware of the context and you go into it with the right intentions, it's good.
Exactly. And I think I'm very aware of that. I know that I slip up and I make mistakes.
Everyone does. Yeah.
It's about recognising it and being like, okay.
It's about learning from
I
it.
can do that better.
Yeah. Next time I won't do that.
Tattooing. That's like, that goes way back. So it's just there are aspects of it that I think we need to be careful of. But I think the thing that's connected me and my mum, because our relationship has been so strong recently, probably the fact that I'm not in a state of depression anymore.
Probably helps. Yeah.
But our spirituality connected, and I resisted it for a long time from her. I used to think, God, this woman, what is she on? Like,
that shit crazy.
Like radiating love, what the fuck? And now we will have 3-hour-long phone conversations about meditation, about vibes, about discussing essentially what is just feelings and being in touch with that. And I'm so lucky. I cannot express how lucky I am to have her as my mum, because not everyone is that lucky to be able to have that relationship. I mean, I look at my siblings. I'd say my relationship versus some of my siblings' relationship with her is a lot stronger. And I just want all of us to have that connection with her. So,
and I think like the people who would sort of shit on that and be like, oh, that's just like hippy dippy stuff, they would want that. Everyone would want that kind of connection, and they can laugh and they can say, oh, it's stupid, but if you know in your heart of hearts you have those deep connections and those deep kind of, I don't know what the word is, passions and interests, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Like, it's so easy to think, oh, John from down the road thinks I'm an idiot for doing this. It's like, if you feel in your heart of hearts it's right, that's all that matters. And if you've made those connections with your mum, like, that is literally, that's like a life goal right there.
Well, and I think the one thing for me is I've noticed, again, it's the people I surround myself with at the moment, I really sat down, it's why I got so overwhelmed and emotional the other day, was I sat down and I looked at everyone that's in my life versus everyone who's in my life a year ago. And what everyone says about me now versus what everyone said about me a year ago. And a year ago it was, she's not okay, she's a liability.
We're worried about her.
We need to look after her. I was surrounded by drug addicts, alcohol abusers, very angry men. The relationships I had with men as well were just dysfunctional. I mean, tell me something new. Whereas now, the one thing that everybody I meet, and especially starting the job I did, was the one thing everyone says about me is, oh my God, you're just such a joy to be around. Yeah,
it's like what I said earlier when you walked in. I literally said earlier, like for people who are listening to this, I had a headache and it was gone when I saw it. I don't know how that worked, but I was literally sitting there thinking, fuck, my head hurts, I do not feel good. And then Aimee walked in and I was just like, ooh, I feel good, okay, I feel great, I'm ready to do this now. Like, I felt right. It's when someone has that kind of energy, like, it's just, you can't.
And I find with me, I'm surrounding myself with people who radiate that back at me.
Yeah.
So like, literally, I got so excited to see you.
I know you did. Your face. You literally walked in. Everyone else was sat around like quietly on their laptops and they just looked up and we were like, ah! It was so pathetic.
And it was like this immediate, and it was like when I first met you.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was such a good day.
I've got a real thing at the moment of, there are people that it's like the people I'm surrounded with at the moment.
Yeah.
My boyfriend, my best friend Lauren.
Yeah.
You, like, that as soon as I met them, there was a niggle in my gut of, this is your kind of person.
This is right, this is good. Right. Yeah.
And then like, boom shakalaka, here we are.
And then how many days later, here we are.
I mean, we're awful though.
I mean, we don't see each other. It's really bad.
But
the thing is with that is like, one of my best friends, Kirsty, which is like my best friend from home, we've like grown up together. We don't ever fucking see each other. Like, we literally will see each other like maybe once a year, twice a year, but it doesn't matter. Like, it literally, I always say this to my brother, every time I see her, it's like nothing's changed. No time has passed. We are literally the same weird 14-year-olds that we always were. Like, you don't need to be spending all this time with these people if they matter and if they're the right people. Like, it literally doesn't mean anything. Like, you could spend every day with the wrong person.
Oh my god, tell me about it.
Literally, I spent so many years with shitty people, and I would spend every day with them, and that just means nothing compared to spending like 2 days a year with someone who means a lot to you, and who is a good person. Like, that's so different. This isn't even mental health anymore. We're just like talking about like spirituality and like life and just
people in life.
I just love love and happiness. I'm gonna be on to like a mental health question. I've written loads, but like honestly, we've already talked for how long? It's 44 minutes.
Okay.
And we should just go the full hour now, to be honest.
Yeah, we might as well.
Like, we may as well. Let's think of another question. Oh, okay, this is what I wanted to ask you, because you're very into self-care.
Yes.
And it made me laugh, because there was one time where I was like, are you going to this thing? You're like, no, I'm having a self-care day. And I was like, of course you are. And then I was like, I want a self-care day as well. But I wanted to ask, like, how important it is to you, and how much do you think it actually helps, like, on a bad mental health day?
Okay. So,
Like, how much it really helps you.
yeah, so for me...
Also, I'm going to eat a few grapes while you're doing this. So if you hear, like, chewing, like, just...
We've got a lot of snacks here, guys.
We've got a lot. I'm sorry, I'm just really hungry.
It's okay. Eat your grapes.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think it's important to self-care every day, whether I'm having a bad mental health day or not. So it's why I do my yoga and my meditation. There was a week where I was so overwhelmed with work and stuff, I didn't get time to do yoga, meditation, face mask, whatever it was. And it was, the way I look at it is the way that Christians go to pray, or Catholics go to pray. It will take, if I haven't done it, then it's really needed, and I never want to get to a point where I need a self-care day.
Yeah.
I want it to be a daily part of, you know, it's my ritual.
A routine.
Yeah. And I think you can't look after anyone else, you can't give your energy to anyone else 100% if you're not giving it to yourself. Whether self-care, I think there's a lot of like stigma around self-care, because it's like,
well, again, it's been commercialised, like, it's become this thing.
You can't do a face mask and call it self-care.
Yeah.
You know, you can't skip a week off uni and be like, I'm doing it because of self-care. And to be fair,
I was going to say, we've all
been there.
we've all done that.
We've all
yeah.
gone, I'm just not going to go to my lectures.
I just know that this lecture's going to give me like bad energy. Your flatmates are like, okay, sure.
And I think sometimes you've just got to accept, like, you know,
there's a reason you're not going, or like,
there's a reason I'm not going to university, and it's probably not self-care, it's probably because I'm not enjoying university.
I don't want to be
I
here.
don't want to be here.
Yeah.
So there's a limit, but I think self-care shouldn't be in the same way that, you know, eating fruit shouldn't be a thing you do once a week because you've eaten shit all week.
Yeah.
I think self-care isn't just like doing a face mask, and it's discipline. So for me, it's the reason I do yoga and meditation is it's a source of discipline. I'm not a disciplined person. You know, I leave work last minute, and I'm like, so for me, having that discipline of you will spend an hour a day doing meditation and yoga.
Yeah, something
Whether
that's structured in your day, something.
Not every day I want to do it, Molly.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wake up and I think, do I fuck when I get into a downward dog right now? No, I don't. And do I want to focus on like the shit that's going on and like meditate on it and muse on it? No, I don't. But I'm going to, because it's important that I do.
Yeah.
The same way with drinking water. I know it sounds so ridiculous.
No,
or
it's
eating some celery.
Yeah.
You know, self-care shouldn't be a thing that we do when it gets bad.
Yeah.
The same way with counselling.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a thing we turn to
At the
when
last
it gets
minute.
bad.
Yeah.
It should be something we focus on all the time. And I think self-care is just another way of loving yourself.
Yeah.
And you should be focusing on loving yourself all the time, even when it's difficult.
I think what people I think it puts people off doing it all the time, because I think they think, at least this is what I've thought in the past, like it matters more, and it affects you more if I go a week without doing it and then I do it on a Friday night. It'll be better for me, and it'll hit me harder, you know, and it'll make me feel better afterwards. And I think that's why people put it off, because they're like, well, if I spend a week not doing it, then it'll be way more worth it in the long run if I do it on Friday or Saturday. And I think people don't think of it as something that you've got to upkeep. I think people think of it as something you've got to do like once a month.
Yeah, when things get tricky. And I think, well, this is my point. I'm saying this all now. I went a week without looking after myself at all.
Yeah.
Like, really. And I mean, my friend Laura makes fun of me because she says I eat spinach with everything, and I think sometimes I can rely too much. it can give me anxiety sometimes if I don't do it.
Yeah.
So when it becomes, so like if I don't do my meditation,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll be like, oh my god, I haven't done it, so now I'm gonna fall and crash and burn and die, and
Everything's gonna go wrong now.
go to shit, and
Yeah.
my mental health's gonna go to shit. When it starts to do that, then I
Yeah.
have to take a step back and be like, okay, hun,
That's
like,
when it's too far.
just
Yeah.
rein it off a bit. It's not that, you know,
It's not that deep and not that...
it's not going to kill you if you don't do it. In
Yeah.
the same way that having, and I think this links back to sort of, I had a big issue with food, like a huge issue with food,
Yeah.
2 years ago, mainly because I had no control over my life, so the only thing I could control was what I ate. And I was obsessive about everything I ate, and it became to a point where, although I was eating really well,
Yeah.
if I had it, and I mean this in all honesty,
Yeah.
if I had a chocolate digestive, well, actually no, I'll link it to a story of, I had a Percy pig I was doing my foundation diploma,
Yeah.
and I was eating like celery, and I think I was vegan at the time, and I had a vegetarian Percy pig, and I looked at what the calorie intake of that was,
Oh my god.
what the sugar intake of that was,
Yeah.
and I was sat down in my studio, and I was like, and I had a full-blown anxiety attack because I'd eaten a Percy pig. That's when
it's too far, yeah.
That's when it's too far. When it's balance. And
Yeah.
when you can't eat a Percy pig without thinking you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And I fully thought,
No, like I'm not.
I'm laughing at it now because I think, oh my god.
It's good to laugh at it from this perspective because you know you're healthy now.
Yeah.
It's not funny, but like, yeah.
This is my point with self-care. Is even though you're calling it self-care, are you doing it because you're scared that if you don't do it, you're gonna like ruin your life? Or are you doing it because you genuinely want to do it? In the same way that, are you eating celery every day because you enjoy it and you know it's good for you? Or are you eating it because you're scared
of what's going to happen
if you don't?
Yeah, if you don't.
And I think for me the same thing goes. I'm still have a bit of an issue with food. I mean, I'm in a new relationship that involves a lot of like cake. And like
treating you and like
and Luke had to talk to me the other day because I was like, do I have a Lindt or do I have a fig roll? And he fully looked at me and he was like, you have both if you want both. And I was like, no, I can't have both. And he was like, no, if you want both.
No, that's really how human bodies work. If you want both.
And it's about realising that, again, for me, the black and white thing, I'm a very extreme person.
Yeah.
And it's something I have to keep a check on. And that goes down to self-care as well. It's something I have to keep a check on.
Yeah.
Am I doing my meditation today because I really want to do it and because I know it's going to be good for me? And is it coming from a good place, or am I doing it from a place of fear?
Yeah.
That if I don't do it, everything's going to go to shit.
Yeah.
So I always have to keep a check on that, and it's the same with what I eat, and even like, am I eating this chocolate cake because I feel really bad about myself and I'm trying to fix my problems?
Yeah.
Or am I eating it because actually I really enjoy cake? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's something, I think for me, being the personality type that I am, I have to just constantly keep a check on.
Yeah. But that in itself is self-care. If you're constantly checking and just making sure that you're okay with different aspects of your life, that is self-care. And I think people should see like the word self-care equals, it's just love. Like it's just looking after yourself, and it's having the love and the respect for yourself to be like, I'm not going to do that today, I'm not going to do this, I'm going to actually do this today, and then I'm going to read a book today instead of like watching a film because I know it's going to be better for my like sleeping tonight. Like it has varying levels, like everything. It has different grey kind of scale to it, I don't know what the word is, but it can be intense. It can be, you know, a night where you just want to completely pamper yourself. And that is how people see it. But it can also be like, today I'm going to go for a walk, or today I'm going to walk instead of getting the bus because I know it's going to make me feel better. Like it's knowing what you need. It's knowing what will make you feel better, and it's actively doing that and actively caring about yourself enough to do it.
Fully.
I think that's what people don't see it as that, and that annoys me because I'm just like, it's not just fucking like face mask.
It's not doing a face mask.
Like that's nice, and it really does help sometimes, but it doesn't. And that's why I wanted to ask you it, because I was like, I wonder if she thinks that helps, but I wonder if you think like how important you place that.
I don't think a face mask helps.
Yeah.
If
you've got other issues.
I know for me, I definitely spend money if I'm sad. Fully. I had a little blip the other day, and the first thing I did is I went to the crystal store, and I was like, I'm going to buy myself some crystals.
I love that.
But I stopped myself because I was like, hang on a sec.
Again, this is going back to the intentions. You've got to look at what your intention is behind an action. And if it's a pure intention, if you just go, actually, I really need to buy some more crystals, but if you're doing it to heal something or to cope with something, that's bad.
Yeah. And the self-care thing that I did was I sat down with Luke and I spoke about something that I was having an issue with.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I don't feel the need to buy anything anymore.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay, the self-care there was actually talking about the problem.
Yeah.
And I think that day as well I had another 5-hour long conversation. I think for me it's self-care is self-care is whatever you want it to be, as long as it's not a way of, it's not you reflecting your problem in, you're not mirroring it in something else.
It's not an escape. I think because you can't, it's difficult to say you can't because I know I did at times, but you can't ignore the problem by, diverting it to something different.
Going
you
on
have to,
ASOS and buying clothes.
If going on ASOS and buying clothes is going to make you feel better, that's fine, but you have to at the same time acknowledge what the problem is. You have to be head on with the problem, and if you're ignoring the problem and then just buying clothes, that's going to do literally nothing to you apart from just a dent in your bank account and just some more clothes on your bed. But if you acknowledge the problem head on and go, there's a problem here,
exactly,
then you can heal.
Oh my god, 100%. And I think this is what it comes down to. It's balance, and I think that for me is the end goal. It's something I'm still working on. It's balance within my mental health. Within, am I being not too happy, but why am I I remember when me and Luke originally got together, it was this extreme, everything is brilliant. Yeah. And I had to sit my ass down and be like, okay, look at the reality of this situation for a second. Yeah. And I don't think I did any yoga that week that we first got together. And I was like, no, this isn't self-care. No. You need to, and I remember the self-care day I had that day was I said to him, you can go home. Yeah. My version of self-care today is telling you to please leave. But that does. I needed that, and I feel the same way with my friendships. Sometimes is I can give a lot to people. Again, I'm a very extreme personality type, so I either give you absolutely everything, or you won't hear from me for months. Yeah. I know. I was like, that sounds familiar. And what I'm trying to do is find that balance. Yeah. Give you not all of my time, but give you part of me so that I've still got enough time for me. Yeah, but it's like today's a nugget of time in a year or in a month or in a day that we've been able to share together, but it doesn't dictate anything. It's just a tiny bit of time, and it was really great to have that time, but you don't have to you don't have to slice up your day and be like, okay, here's 10% here, here's 10% there. You can give as much as you want to different people, just as long as you keep the communication open. Even though we don't see each other very often, we keep the communication open and honest. And you're always like, okay, today I'm struggling, or I'll be like, okay, today I'm struggling, but maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. It's always open. Yeah, and I think the route for me is communicate with yourself first. Yeah. So massively. What do I want to do today? Why do I want to see this person today? And I think for me, it's making sure self-care is making sure you are always checking yourself first, giving yourself your energy first. Yeah, like you said, watering yourself. Yeah, literally. You can't water someone if your cup's empty. Exactly. And that's the root of it. And that's the tea. And that's the tea. I love that. We're nearly at an hour, but I wanted to ask one last thing about talking, because this is actually just something I just thought of. It's not even one of the. There's so many other questions that I wrote that maybe we'll do a part 2. Can we just do all the podcasts together? Because I am loving this. It's hi, I've got this new podcast. Every episode's going to be with this girl called Aimee. Everyone's listening to this being I know it literally is. But I was going to say one last thing, because I was talking to my twin brother, I think it was last week or a few weeks ago, because he's just got back from Ghana, because he's been in Ghana for 3 months. And we were talking about mental health and stuff, and we were talking about actually having the conversations with people. And I was saying to him because he had a day where he just sort of blurted out all his anxieties at me. And he never really talks about mental health. He doesn't have mental health issues. Okay. But he just one day just went I'm just really stressed. And I was running a bath, and I was literally just going in and out the bath and being okay, hold on. And I was turning off the tap and okay, talk to me. And he was just he just listed all the stuff that was wrong. And then after he did that, he was okay, I feel better. And I was and I said to him, I think there's this thing where when it's in your head, you don't see it for what it really is. I think you massively
magnify what's going on in your brain, and you're like, oh my god, I am so stressed, I'm so anxious, my brain is about to burst.
Yeah.
And then someone will be like, okay, what's wrong? And then you'll go, well, there's like not really anything wrong, it's just like one thing. And then you'll be like, oh shit, it literally is just one thing that I'm anxious about. And I think it's like actually physically putting it out into the world and talking about it like changes how you see it.
Yeah.
And like physically writing down and be like, okay, here's what I'm anxious about, and it's like 2 things, and then you're like, wait, I can control both those things.
Yeah.
This is going to be okay.
Brilliant.
Like, and I wanted to ask you, like, how much do you think, because obviously you talk to your mum a lot and you talk to a lot of your friends a lot, how much do you think talking has helped you? Like, not even just counselling, but like other talking.
Oh my god, it for me is like, if I don't feel I can talk to someone again, why am I getting emotional? If
I like 3 times.
I know.
I've had moments where I'm a bit choked up and I'm just like, anyway, yeah, I'm keeping my cool, that's fine.
It's talking about being vulnerable. Yet I can't even
Yeah,
talk about
everyone should be vulnerable, and I'm just like wiping tears like secretly.
But talking for me, I've realised is my love language. It is my.
I love that.
If I don't feel I can talk to someone, then I can't.
You can't be yourself.
I can't be myself. I can't
Yeah.
be that person. And I know for me and my mum, it was healing for me talking to her about what I felt as a child she could have done better. Even though I completely sympathise with everything that went on there.
Yeah, of course.
Talking to her about that.
Yeah.
Talking as a 20-year-old as if I was a 5-year-old going, actually, Mum,
This upset me at the time.
this upset me at the time.
Yeah.
And this could have happened.
Yeah.
The one thing in my relationship at the moment which I am like anal about is talk to me.
Yeah.
Tell me what you need, tell me what's wrong. And I think for me, like you said, I'm an overthinker. I'm a very extreme person.
Yeah.
If I can't discuss it with someone immediately as it gets into my head, then it will just manifest and go haywire.
Yeah,
I mean,
times 1,000.
Times 1,000. And writing for me has been very healing as well.
Oh yeah,
because
definitely.
sometimes the person isn't there to immediately talk to. If I can't immediately ring my mum, she's at work.
But that is talking. This is gonna sound
Yeah.
so stupid. Like we've already talked about like hippy dippy shit, but that is talking to your laptop or talking to your notepad. Like that is still talking. It's just like through something else.
Really. And I find you're completely right in the sense of the other day I had an issue, it's so ridiculous, but I realised that, you know when you really love something, so like say your mum, okay?
Yeah.
And they go out and they're going to work, and you get like a voice in your head of, what if they die?
Oh my god, I always have this. I'm literally paranoid everyone's going to die all the time.
Yeah.
It's pathetic. I'm always just like, oh my god, I could lose everyone.
Yeah.
My mum could die right now.
Fully.
It's so stupid.
I've never really experienced that until recently.
Oh my god, it's so
And
scary.
I kept it in my head
Yeah.
because I was like, if I speak this out into the universe, then it's going to happen.
Oh my god, no.
And weird story, okay?
Yeah.
I say I'm psychic, and I freaking am.
I know you are.
That morning, I'd spoken to Luke, and I was like, I don't like that you drive. And he was like, why? And I was like, because I'm worried you're going to die.
Because I'm worried about the crashes on the M5.
The look on his face was like, what? What?
Actually, what?
That day, that evening, I got a phone call from him, and he went, you're not going to believe this. And I was like, what? And he was like, just crashed my car.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that makes me so uncomfortable.
I know.
My whole body just went like...
He was fine, it
Oh.
was like a minor little crash.
That's so lucky though.
But for me, that was an example of what you put out into the universe,
That's what you get back.
what you get back, which gives me slight anxiety.
Uh-huh.
But I think actually no, like it probably was just maybe a freak out.
I think it was a fluke, but it's
Fluke.
still kind of freaky.
But my whole thing is after that happened then,
Yeah.
I kept it inside for about 2 days of I'm now terrified of losing him.
Yeah.
And I realised I'm terrified of losing him. I'm terrified of losing my mum. Terrified.
Yeah.
Everyone I love, I
Yeah.
had this sudden thing of, oh my god, I'm so happy at the moment.
This
I
could all go
lose-
to shit.
I could lose all of this.
Yeah.
I could be one of those people on the news where you think, oh my god, that happened to that person. How did that
Yeah.
happen?
Oh my god.
And the only way I got past that,
Yeah.
because I kept it in because I thought, I don't want to talk to anyone about this.
Yeah.
It's so stupid, it's silly. I sat down, I spoke to Luke about it, spoke to my mum about it.
Yeah.
And the way my mum helped me get over it, and also a lady on YouTube, the TED Talk, she is called Brené Brown.
Oh yeah.
She talks about shame and vulnerability, and she talks about that feeling of when as a mother, when you first have your child and you look at your child, and you go, oh my god, I love you so much, and then you go,
It's gonna die.
oh my god, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And she said the way to get past that, and my mum said as well, is just to focus on being grateful.
Yeah. Focus on what you have right now.
Focus on, because at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And you can't change anything that's
And
gonna
right
happen.
now, I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I'm like surrounded by like, it feels like there's just so much positivity in this room.
Just the corner of this room is just...
The corner of this room is just like, And so, yeah, but talking for me was the thing that got me over that initial fear, because I was like, oh my god, I'm not telling anyone about this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I spoke to my mum and she was like, that's normal.
I think it's just putting power to words and just allowing yourself to feel something and allowing yourself to just put it out into the world.
Words are powerful. When I do my meditation every morning, the one thing that I speak words of positivity to myself and about myself.
Yeah, mantras.
And I mean, even if it sounds ridiculous, but stuff like, you look cute today.
You're working it today.
You're working it today. You're going to be really nice today to people. You're going to be so kind to people. And it changed it.
Yeah.
Words are so powerful.
They really are.
They did a scientific experiment, and people laugh at me when I tell them this. There was 2 plants, both in dark rooms.
Oh my god, I saw about this.
Yes.
Oh my god, yes, I did. And when they spoke good words to it, it grew. Was it grew?
Yeah,
and then the other one like
negatively to one.
Yes.
And spoke positively to the other.
Oh my god.
And the one with the positivity, again, they didn't have water or sunlight.
Yeah.
But the positive one grew.
It
and
grew.
the negative one died.
Yeah.
And that just says it all.
It really does.
Like, we are all plants.
That needs to be the quote of this episode. We are all plants.
And we need to be spoken nicely to, and we need to speak nicely to ourselves. We need balance. And that's fucking tea, man.
That's the tea. I'm probably going to end it on that, because that is such a good way to end this.
Balance, love,
Plants.
plants,
Fucking plant.
and talk.
Literally talk. I think that's the most important thing.
Just talk, because
Even if
this
you-
has been healing.
So healing. I feel amazing right now. Even if it's just like embarrassing stuff that you have to get out and be like, I felt weird today, or I felt like this today. Talking does so much for your mind. Like,
Fully, and especially with relationships and friendships.
yeah.
I didn't like that.
And with your relationship with yourself.
Oh my god.
Like,
Really?
being like, actually, I didn't feel comfortable that I just said that. And like telling yourself that and then being like, okay, I'm not going to do that again.
Literally be catching yourself and going,
Yeah.
actually, Ames, maybe that wasn't very nice of you
Yeah.
to say, but that's okay.
I won't do that again.
I won't do that again.
Yeah.
We'll work on that.
And then, thank you, Amy. Okay, thanks, Amy. That was great. Okay, bye.
And
Like,
just
yeah.
nicely to yourself, even when it's about stuff that isn't nice to talk about.
Yeah. Even when it's uncomfortable stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay.
That's the tea. Wonderful.
Thank you! Oh my god, this is so much fun. I literally want to scream. I'm not going to
Okay.
scream because
I'm
the audio will be like...
I'm going to do this all the time. This is brilliant.
Thank you so much for doing this.
That's
We
okay.
did an hour and nearly 10 minutes.
I'm so
That's like
sorry if
that's
anyone
a
has
fat
dropped off to
episode.
sleep.
No, maybe it'll be good. Maybe people can... No, but then we've shouted a lot. I don't think... Thank you, Vicky. I think if you were falling asleep to it though, like...
No, that'll be really good.
I would have loved it if you just went like, yes, guys! It's like perking you up for your work. I love that. Oh, by the way, I do know Vicky. That'd be so funny if people think that Vicky's just like a girl in the room who was just like, guys, don't worry, I did enjoy it. She is my flatmate. Right, I'm gonna quickly end this so we can like.
Are you still going?
It's still going, yeah. I might have to edit this last bit, but like, thank you so much.
Thank you for
I'm
having
gonna
me.
press stop. I don't know how to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit this bit 'cause it's